Hello everyone, I'm back for another update here. This is September, I believe it's 17th, sundown. As you can see, I'm still in Ontario, California. Much of the smoke has cleared out due to a wind shift. There is a storm system offshore out in the Pacific, which has brought about a bit of a wind shift, so the smoke has all been blown for the most part out of here, just a little bit. And there is a patch of smoke there hanging over the mountains there, but nothing major at the moment. So the truck is done. All it needed were new brake shoes, because they were down to a 1/4 inch, which I know was the case. I know they weren't putting one over on me on it. I got those replaced. The good news is nothing else needed to be done. It has an inspection sticker for the next year. And it wasn't really that costly either, considering what things usually cost around here with repairs. It was less than $1,000. The APU, I didn't get that serviced yet. It was running rough again because I think the oil, the viscosity, I think it's breaking down when it's really hot out. It was near 100 today. I did see that it was a little low on oil. I added some fresh oil in, and that seems to have helped a little bit. And it is running now more smoothly, so hopefully that will tide me over until I can get it serviced. I got my next load booked for tomorrow. It's another $8,000 load that will get me to New York for next week. So I will be heading out of here tomorrow for the East Coast. So the only other thing is the oil leak. It's only a very slight leak. I put stop leak in, see if that helps it. Hope maybe that will stop it, at least for a while, as it is only a very slight leak. Otherwise, the truck is running fine now. So as far as the update on the tropics, I mentioned in my last video, I've gotten out of the prediction business because these storms are getting tampered with, they're getting interfered with. To the trained eye, it's very obvious. I'm thinking about Teddy, which they declared a Cat 4 hurricane out in the Atlantic. I've been watching this system closely for the last couple of days, and yesterday it was on life support, and they started firing all kinds of energy, a constant stream of energy, it looked like, into this storm to try to get it going. They claim it's a Cat 4. I claim it's an artificial storm that normally would have fizzled out, left to its own devices. It was starting to yesterday, and they fired so much energy into it that it's upsetting the balance of weather in the whole North Atlantic now. The storm has so much outflow now that it's forming another low pressure system 1,500 miles east of it. A big eddy has formed in the atmosphere because system just has so much outflow now, which is beyond the natural, what it naturally should have, that it's forming another low pressure system to the east of it, which hurricanes usually don't do. So there is an enormous amount of energy being injected into this weather system, and interestingly, I closely observed that they're directing the energy to the northwest side of the system, which is the direction it's moving in. Every single burst of convection that I observed was coming on the northwest side of this weather system, just to the northwest of the center, at even intervals. Bursts of convection that did not look natural. They looked like they were energy being thrown at it in an intelligent way, because every single one was on the northwest side of the system. And that's, again, the direction it's moving in. So obviously, if you want to energize this system, you're going to put the energy on the northwest side if it's moving that way, because then it spins around, it moves into that energy, and the energy gets spun around the whole system, around center. They're very clever in the way they're doing this. This storm is definitely being tampered with. Of course, they're going to call it a major hurricane. But they will have to continue injecting a continuous stream of energy into it. I noticed that a couple of times when it let up that the storm started to fall apart very quickly. This is what leads me to believe this is an artificially created storm that normally would have been just a tropical depression in line with the big weather systems I mentioned that are becoming the new type of tropical system. But now what they're doing is they're altering these systems, trying to force them to become hurricanes where they normally would not have done so. I noticed that the system to the east that came off Africa, it's following behind it. They're starting to try to fire that up. I noticed some unusual convection on the north side of that cluster of convection, unnatural bursts of convection on the north side, because that system is kind of moving in a northerly direction. So they want to fire up another hurricane here to count it on the total. In the Gulf, I'm telling you, they're going to be working on that weather system that's emerging out of the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. They're going to be firing energy into that. You wait. I think they already are. I noticed a few bursts on the northeast side of this system that did not look natural. Of course, that's where it's going to be, because that's the direction it's moving in. So I'm not in the prediction. I'm not predicting any more of these storms. Naturally, this would have been a very quiet season. But there's so much tampering going on, so much energy being thrown into these systems through technology of some sort, that I cannot make any more predictions. They're going to make this become a record season, whether lying about the storms, injecting them with all kinds of energy to prop them up. Earlier, I saw system after system come off Africa and not develop into anything. And now all of a sudden they're all developing because there's energy being thrown into them now. And that is going to be the wave of the future. Every year, they're going to be purposely creating death and destruction to promote an agenda. That is what we really see going on. When I was growing up in the 70s, the general consensus was, how can we disable a hurricane? What can we do to take the sting out of a hurricane, just make it into a rainstorm? And this year, nature was actually doing that. With global cooling, this was actually starting to happen. The sting was disappearing from these storms. They were coming off Africa, but they were remaining just a very loose area, a big eddy with just some bands of showers, thunderstorms. But now it's the opposite. They want hurricanes, they want destruction because they want to prove an agenda. So that is going to be it for this video. I will be back with another update soon.